Thank you.
¿Cuál es la primera? ¿Este tiempo te parece? Swing, swing.
Sí, dale, sí. Eso te iba a decir, loco. Los tiempos, tú eres el man.
El tiempo que me saca de los cojones, pues,
Espero que no sea, espero que sea
le
bueno.
tienen que hacer frente. Checa tu micrófono. Oh, sí, en el Chris había una cosa.
Pero al principio.
Sí, tú y yo.
Bueno,
Te voy a dar
dale.
club y
Pero
tú-
nada más en la primera
La
vuelta
primera vuelta
y
se
ya
repetía.
comenzamos una vez. You as well, sir.
Hello, folks. Hello, hello. Welcome. The program is not quite starting, but we do have a special featured performance before the program to open the show. And and also thank you to everyone who just played our Andean and Latin American jazz fusion ensemble. Let's give them another round of applause. And to our amazing DJ duo that opened the night, Rhythm Science Sound over here. But up next, we're going to hear a couple songs along with they're also going to close out at the end of the program with a pretty incredible original song. But right now, I'd like to welcome to the stage, or he's been up here the whole time, but music producer and composer and musician Fred Bogert, and Grammy-nominated Fred Bogert. And our featured artist of the evening, Haitian singer-songwriter Christella Philippe.
Let's get away from the evils of this world, a great escape. We're gonna start over. How you guys doing tonight? Yeah. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so excited. I love KRM, and so to get to perform some songs for them today is just an honor. The first song I'm gonna be singing is called Building a House. I wrote this song when I was 16 years old, and it's still valid even today. It's about building a better world where everyone can live in their identity, be who they are, and live in respect. So that's what Building a House is about, and we're gonna start it over. And it's probably because I needed to make this introduction, and that's why, right? So you can get some context, yeah. Let's get away from the evils of this world, a great escape where we won't be found. So pack your bags and leave your demons behind. Make a fresh start and set your worries aside. Ooh, come with me. Ooh, we could be free, 'cause I'm building a house where we can hide. The pain will subside, and there'll be no crying. I'm building a house where we The next song that I'm going to sing is called Sous le ciel d'Haïti. I'm originally from Haiti, and so I've sung this song with my dad when I was little, and he would play the guitar like my whole life. And ever since I started singing it in America, people keep asking me to sing it over and over again. So it just feels like it is one of my songs that is dear to me as well. Qu'il est beau, qu'il est doux d'être vivant près de vous, bien et chaud, détendu, l'esprit qui est rigolant sous le ciel d'Haïti. Oui, je l'avoue, j'en suis fier, j'en suis fort, Dieu merci, et je chante. Parmi tout pays que me connaît sur la terre, c'est l'Haïti original et sans pareil. Paradis, c'était pays de rêve. Yon ciel de paix, côté l'argent. Parti bonheur, côté tout le monde, c'est moun tout le monde. Levé comme matin, gardez tout le monde, comment y a vivre. Sans mi, comment y est, et tout le monde, et la caille. À nous pas contre qui grand bonheur qu'est Haïti. Nous t'a fait amour, yo prié tout faire à you. Nous a fait encouragement, yo. N'a joué guitare, frappé tambour. Fait que content, bas pied boire sans cœur sauter. Chaque jour, quand si poule, n'a petit bon Dieu, yon grand merci. Y'a un trésor dans la paix, paradis. Dans le gros pays qui soi-disant civilisé, crime pour chaque jour, c'est pas certaine, yon contrôlé. Ambition, l'argent fait que tout le monde petit beauté, vini sauvage, vini sans pitié, que yo bien dit, puis pour l'eau. Haïti chérie, gardez forfait dans le cinéma, pas garder gros caille, gros folie, pousser idéal, maman, pousser idéal, pousser
All right, hello, it's me again. Welcome to the 23rd Annual Global Gourmet Fundraising Gala. My name is Alex Mignard, for those of you whom I've not met yet. I'm the Communications and Outreach Manager for KRM. First, I want to thank again Fred and Christella for that incredible performance. Well, yes. We'll welcome them back to close it out. So on behalf of everyone at KRM, I want to thank all of you for celebrating with us the work and the mission of our organization. for celebrating the resilience, the strength, the accomplishments of those who have endured the arduous journey of displacement and are rebuilding their lives in our community. Thank you to our sponsors who made this event possible. Our lead sponsors, Brown Forman and also JP Morgan Chase. Thanks to our dedicated, unstoppable community of supporters, of volunteers, of co-sponsors, advocates. I don't know how many of you realize how truly impactful and vital you are to the work that we do. How much every coat, every sofa, every volunteer hour, every dollar adds up to create this beautiful, wide-reaching mosaic of welcome in our community here. And it is with this that I would like to highlight the theme of this year's event, weaving a compassionate future together, and the ways in which you can give tonight. You have QR codes on your tables and in your programs. You can scan those to donate. And we also have an outreach table out in the hallway that you can also visit. But for weaving a compassionate future together, you know, as we find ourselves and humanity across the globe amidst divisive times, violent conflicts, war, this theme of weaving a compassionate future together, it's more crucial than ever for all of our lives. And so we ask you to help us build that future tonight, to continue the journey of making Kentucky home for refugees and immigrants together. And without further ado, because there are so many more interesting and inspiring folks to speak tonight, I would like to introduce our board chair of Kentucky Refugee Ministries, the Reverend Canon Amy Rial Coltis of the Episcopal Diocese of Kentucky. It's the longest title.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Coltis, Chair of the Board of Directors for KRM. On behalf of the board, thank you for being here and welcome. I hope you're having a great time. Your commitment to being part of KRM's work means that Kentucky will continue to be a welcoming new home for refugees and immigrants as we weave this compassionate future together that Alex just spoke about. It's truly a privilege to serve as the board chair for this amazing and essential community organization. I'm especially thankful to get to work with John Kohlinger, our executive director, whose expertise and dedication makes KRM one of the country's premier refugee resettlement organizations. Along with co-directors Mary Cobb in Lexington and Wilson Mejia in Covington, and with all of our dedicated staff across our 3 offices, KRM's capacity to support our clients has matched the great and increasing need that we see every day. I cannot overstate the impact our staff makes in the lives of the refugees and immigrants they serve and in our communities. I'm, of course, also grateful for the many volunteers, lots of you are here, who make our programs possible. I'm thankful for my fellow board members for the time, energy, and thoughtfulness they give to ensure KRM's success. Tonight, I want to recognize one of those board members in particular. If you have been around KRM for any time at all, you probably already know her. A faithful supporter giving countless hours of direct volunteer work with clients, with staff, leading co-sponsorship teams, and basically serving in any way you can think of, including, I think I counted, 16 or so years on the board. Jane Parker, you have been a friend and mentor to me and to the rest of the board members. I can keep a secret, Jane. We are grateful for your long commitment of servant leadership. We have just a small token of appreciation, and I think Joseph is bringing it to you. And we know that even as your time on the board comes to an end, your support and your work with KRM is not over. Again, thank you, Jane, for your faithful leadership. Thanks again to each of you for your ongoing support of KRM's work and for your commitment to the deeply American value of welcoming those who have been displaced from their homeland, who are looking for safety and freedom and opportunity. With your continued support, Louisville and Kentucky can continue to be home to the incredible cultural diversity you've experienced tonight and continue expanding as the vibrant community we all love. I hope if you're able, you will join me in making a gift to continue that work using the QR code on your table, or by signing up to volunteer through our website, or by buying a shirt from the merch table. Know that each of your dollars, each of your volunteer hours, and your public support make it possible for KRM to continue doing its essential and impactful work. Thank you. Now it is my honor to introduce one of my favorite Kentuckians, former state representative, and maybe the person with the longer title than me, Charles Booker, Director of the Governor's Office of Faith-Based Initiatives and Community Involvement. We are so grateful that you can be with us, Charles.
Well, good evening. All right, I'm going to talk a little louder for the folks in the back. Good evening. Oh, there we go. I am so deeply honored to be here. I always say there are no mistakes. We are not here on accident. We are here not just to support an incredible group of leaders who are showing love when we need it most. And I want to stop to say thank you to everyone who has volunteered, serves with, invests in, and is impacted by the Kentucky Refugee Ministries. I want to salute you and thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do and the light that you shine, because I don't have to tell you, in these times, there is a lot of darkness, and we can sure use some light. And to be in a room with a whole lot of beautiful people shining a light of truth and humanity and love and possibility lets me know that we can still do this, y'all. I am here on behalf of the governor. I take a lot of pride. I'm always glad when he gets a call and he can't come, because it gives me a chance to show up in spaces that mean a lot to me. But I'm also here just as a Kentuckian who knows how important it is for us to come together. I often say from the hood to the holler, but from every part of this world, we are family. And when we realize our collective strength, we're better for it. Absolutely. When we extend refuge instead of weaponizing racism, we're better for it. And when we put our faith into action, not only will we help each other heal, but we'll win the future that we deserve for everyone, no matter where you're from, what you look like. I know that we can still do it because I'm looking at you. And for all the leadership with the Kentucky Refugee Ministries, I want to thank you again, because there's a lot of reason to check out. There's a lot of reason to be concerned, to be weary, or to want to just give up altogether. I'm not going to talk politics. It's hard for me to not do it, but I'm not going to do it. But what I will say is, I know you see how otherism and how attacks on people who the sun has kissed their skin is being weaponized in a way to drive us apart. All the wedges that can make some of us feel invisible. This is a room that reminds us that when we extend that refuge, that when we show that love, we can weather these tough storms. And so on behalf of our governor, on behalf of this Commonwealth, on behalf of this country, on behalf of the world, thank you. And I'm gonna ask you, because you're gonna get asked a lot. I know you're here because you support. This is the choir. I know we're in the choir together. But let's find new ways to support KRM. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves. I'm not saying this to you as if I'm not gonna do it myself. Let's challenge ourselves to see how we can show more love, how we can give more money, how we can give more time, how we can give more money, how we can give more energy, how we can give more money to the people who know that this is the right thing to do at the right time. So I'll leave you with this. I have traveled all across Kentucky and all over the country telling the story about what it means when regular people come together, telling the world about what it looks like when we step out of our corners and see each other. And what I know to be true is that more of us know the power of our coalitions than those who would wish we stayed divided. History is on our side. The truth and the power of love is on our side. So let's lean into it. Let's celebrate tonight, and let's find more ways to give more what? All right, thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Booker. Next, I'm honored to introduce our Deputy Mayor for the City of Louisville, Ms. Nicole George.
Thank you, Alex. And that is a hard act to follow with Mr. Charles Booker there. So, well, good evening. I am equally excited to be here tonight on behalf of Mayor Greenberg and our entire Metro team in support of this important work and in celebration of KRM. Louisville is a welcoming city and a place where people from all over the globe come together to create a stronger community. As someone who chooses to live in a neighborhood filled with a vibrant presence of immigrants and refugees, I've witnessed and been part of the resilience and beauty that comes from co-creating a neighborhood where native-born and newcomer neighbors live and work together side by side. Our immigrant and refugee neighbors are an asset to our city, and the vital work of KRM to support them is essential as we move forward. As a city that honors our rich diversity, we're committed to making sure that everyone knows they belong. One of the ways we do that is through the Office of Immigrant Affairs. Thanks to the leadership of our director, Amos Esmerana, we're able to help everything from small business to leadership development. They do tremendous work. And one of the ways we've committed to doing this is advancing our language access ordinance. We're incredibly proud of that work because we believe that residents in Metro have a right to be able to access city services. That as part of creating a collective community, we have a responsibility to ensuring that residents can access translations and documents in Louisville's most common languages. Our commitment to inclusion, though, is not just about making people feel welcome. It's about creating community where every person, regardless of where they come from or what language they speak, have the tools to thrive. And our city depends on that. This work matters more than ever, and the importance of KRM and, again, supporting our neighbors is vital to the fact that we had 10 to 15,000 new resettlements last year alone. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you for continuing that. And when we talk about giving money, which is super important, I'm going to leave you with one other thing. Please let Metro know the needs of the community. Please do not assume that the people in Metro and the 5,000 employees that we work with understand the needs of the community in a way that touches our newest neighbors. Please reach out, please share needs, and please give money. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. George. All right, next we have our Executive Director of Kentucky Refugee Ministries, Mr. John Kohlinger.
First, thank you, Nicole and Charles, for your words, your vision, and your support. Thank you. Thanks all of you. It's a very deep hall tonight, so I'm speaking to the people in the back as well. Thank you for being here as we mark KRM's 35th year, making Kentucky home for refugees. This past year, our staff, 173 dedicated individuals working out of the KRM offices in Louisville, Lexington, and Covington, have provided assistance to more refugees and immigrant arrivals than we have during any time in our organization's existence. However, as we gather here tonight, those of us who make up the KRM community are alarmed by the dehumanizing narratives that distort the impact and character of those who have sought protection among us. The nativists who spread these uninformed narratives have a fixed view of personal and national identity, of what, by their decree, constitutes American culture and values, and thus of the irreducible otherness of immigrants. Further, there is the unfair attempt to taint the victims of calamity by associating them with the conditions that led to their victimization. In this vein, it said, Afghanistan, Congo, Guatemala, Syria, Haiti, fill in the blank, is violent and chaotic. We're making a mistake allowing refugees and asylum seekers from such places to come here. What is it that makes each of us who we are, gives us our identity? The influences of childhood, family and friends, community, language and culture, religion and education, work, geography and place, politics and patriotism, all lay a defining foundation. Many people substantially remain in that first familiar circle their whole lives. But refugees were cast out of their own familiar circle. Neighbors became lethal enemies. A militia entered the village at night. The fighter jets bombed the city's main hospital. Home was no longer home. The refugees served by KRM were abruptly forced into a counterlife in which they have to adapt to unfamiliar and difficult circumstances. Given the sizable barriers to overcome, the economic success, the educational attainment, and the self-sufficient integration so many refugees have been able to achieve here in Kentucky has been astonishing. Just as astonishing is refugees' resilience in being able to carry through the levels of effort, sacrifice, and focus needed to establish themselves here. At the same time, they're grieving all that they have lost, a grief that lingers and can assert itself persistently and unexpectedly. The process of overcoming catastrophe, rebuilding your life, and willfully seeing the possibility of a future is easier if you're made to feel that you belong in the place where unfortunate circumstances have led you. That's where KRM and you as community members come in, offering refugees in Kentucky a sense of belonging and encouraging their hope. I ask you to reflect on what experiences, teachings, mentors, religious beliefs, or political principles made you care about the well-being of refugees and immigrants, to have empathy for them in their difficult life journey. Likely, those beliefs or principles incline you to help any vulnerable person in need, any victim of an injustice or abuse. Whatever the reason for your decision, it is especially appreciated at this time when the refugee or asylum seeker, it seems, has fewer defenders than ever. The United States stands as a beacon of freedom and opportunity for oppressed people all over the world, until a majority of Americans decide that that should no longer be the case. It would be a terrible reversal of our history of inclusion, a history of inclusion, if that were to happen. KRM supports and empowers refugees and immigrants comprehensively. Our staff help them access food, financial assistance, housing, medical care, mental health services. We provide direct English language classes, cultural orientation, citizenship classes, and support the educational attainment of children and young adults from early childhood to college. So far in 2024, we have placed over 1,500 of our clients in jobs. Our 12-member Immigration Legal Services Office, which includes 5 attorneys, served over 2,100 clients this past year, filing a powerhouse team of experienced and committed legal professionals, filing green card and citizenship, family reunification, asylum, and other immigration legal services applications. KRM has special programs for elderly refugees, immigrant victims of crime, and the performing arts. In the past year, our organization received over 8,200 individuals of 22 nationalities. Some refugees and immigrants arrived at the airport, some walked in our office. Our 3 offices buzz with people and activity. Our staff are out every day in the community, visiting refugees' homes, assisting them with medical and other appointments, and working with schools and other service providers. If the welcome we provide to refugees is to continue, your advocacy, volunteer involvement, and financial support is needed now more than ever. I thank you for that support at this critical time and going forward as we enter the holidays and the year to come. Thank you. Continuing with our program, I would like to acknowledge 2 extraordinary veteran leaders at KRM. First, Shamsuddin Hasseljic. Shamsuddin was resettled by KRM in 1994 as a refugee. He's worked here since 2004 for more than 20 years. He's a man who fully honors his Bosnian heritage and also embodies an unparalleled spirit of warmth, possibility, and optimism. He's a tremendous leader dedicated to KRM and his Bosnian and Louisville community. Second, Adrian Eisenmenger has worked at KRM for over 14 years. Her faith and the grace, care, and effort she shows for KRM clients and staff know no bounds. Adrian will now present our annual Volunteer Service Award. Thank you.
Good evening, y'all. Mr. Booker, I'm from Alabama, and I love the y'all. And we're all about y'all means all at KRM, so I just wanted to say good evening, y'all. As John said, my name is Adrienne. I work as the Family and Youth Services Manager and a Program Leader here at KRM, and I just want to give my heartfelt gratitude to you for being here tonight and to all of our staff and volunteers and interns, musicians, everyone who's made this event possible, and also especially the kitchen staff and Marigold Catering. So just a big round of applause to them. So in the early 90s, when KRM first opens its doors to newcomers, it came out of a compassionate vision and diligent leadership of one woman, and that was Donna Craig, our founder. Starting at her kitchen table and now having grown to 3 offices across the state, her legacy of service and dream of inclusive welcome have become key pillars of our agency. Tonight we honor 2 volunteers who embody these characteristics in all the ways they have supported KRM over the years. About 10 years ago, I first met Steve and Kathleen Rungworth. They were new to Louisville and eagerly looking for ways to get involved with the local refugee community, and this was because Steve's family had come as refugees to the United States when he was a child. At that time, our agency was a little smaller, and we were just forming our first programming for youth and young adults, which has now grown to become the Rise Up College and Career Readiness Access Program. Steve eagerly became one of our first mentors for young adults and journeyed alongside a high school-age Cuban student. As a retired engineer, Steve was excited to work with a student, Yosvani, who was exploring the field of engineering. Steve's foundational work as a Rise Up mentor helped us to grow a sustainable mentorship model. Not long after, Kathleen became a tutor mentor with our KRM New Beginnings tutoring and mentoring program, working closely with a student and his family who were navigating his new autism diagnosis while also dealing with a host of past traumatic stressors. Over the years, Steve and Kathleen have become fixtures at KRM, volunteering in so many aspects of the agency, from apartment setups to arts and culture programming, event support. You'll see them everywhere. Most recently, they've been serving with WOW, a volunteer group engaged in basic needs support for KRM families and beautification work around our grounds surrounding the office. A gift. Now, this beautification work is so important, so when you come, if you see that, we have to thank WOW. It's such a gift for us as staff, for our clients, and for visitors. It's such a welcoming place. Even tonight, sadly, Kathleen cannot be with us. Thankfully, Steve has been able to be here. But they work with us so closely, and typically they are volunteering at this very event back with me with the food, so we're so thankful for them. Also notably, Steve and Kathleen over the summer established the Klaus and Ang Rungworth Memorial Scholarships, which provided needed educational funds to 3 amazing students who were starting college for the first time. Steve and Kathleen, who's here in spirit, your dedicated service, kind and compassionate support to all of our clients and staff, and your faithful presence in so many aspects of life at KRM is a gift to us all. It's my honor to present you with the 2024 KRM Donna Craig Volunteer Award. So at KRM, you've been hearing a lot about KRM, but at KRM, we work with families and individuals as they're rebuilding home and finding a new future in our community. I'm honored to work alongside all of our staff, and especially our Family and Youth Services team, as we serve the incredible children, youth, and young adults that journey alongside us each day as they strive to build a new life here in Louisville while working to reach their educational and vocational dreams. In June, we recognized 15 of these exemplary students who were recent high school graduates and those beginning college for the first time this year. When you came in tonight, there was a table on the right that had some beautiful photos. Those were photos of those seniors and those starting college for the first time. So take a look if you didn't get to see them. They were selected to receive a Rise Up educational scholarship worth $1,000 to assist them. They had demonstrated an exceptional commitment to educational and career achievement and been engaged with KRM's Rise Up program. So as I said, those students are featured out there. We also have some in our midst tonight. If I could have Jazba to stand and Aurora to stand in the back. These are two of our scholarship recipients who are here tonight. They've shown not only great academic and vocational promise, they've also been integral in supporting their families and their communities here in Louisville, which made the presentation of these awards earlier in the summer even more special. So the funds that we provided, it was up to $15,000. This was through grant support, but also through KRM partners like the Rungworths. Also, funds that you donate tonight, part of those funds go towards scholarships for our aspiring young adults. So I mentioned our two scholarship recipients who are here, and one of them is tonight's keynote speaker, Jazba Munawar. She was one of the 2024 KRM Klaus and Ang Rungworth Memorial Scholarship recipients. Jazba's migration journey began when she and her family had to flee Pakistan. After living in Bangkok, Thailand for 5 years, they came as refugees to Louisville in 2018. Due to forced migration, Jazba attended 11 different schools over her educational career. 11 different schools, and mastered, as a result, 4 different languages, including English, Punjab, Thai, and her native language of Urdu. Amazing, all right? So after an exemplary high school career, while maintaining a part-time job at Jewish Hospital to support her family, Jazba graduated from Central High School in May. She's currently a student at the Kent School of Social Work at the University of Louisville. To know Jazba is to be in awe of her light and dynamism. I'm so thankful for her brilliant mind and caring heart, both of which she's dedicated to the field of social work and in support of refugees and immigrants in our community. Jazba and I have this joke, and the constant joke is Jazba said, "I'm gonna take your job," and I said, "I'm ready for it." So one day when Jazba graduates, she's gonna come to KRM, and I truly hope that she will. Please join me in welcoming Jazba to the stage.
Good evening to all the guests, KRM staff, and all the supporters. I hope everyone's doing well. I want to start by telling you a little bit about me. My name is Jazba Munawar, and each syllable of my name dances with history, with love, and with the unspoken stories of where we come from. But in the world we live in today, that refuses to see the humanity behind these names, they become something else. They become something to be butchered, something to be mispronounced, or dismissed as too difficult to say. I want you to imagine for a moment waking up one day and realizing that the place you call home is no longer safe. Your neighborhood, your friends, your memories, and the life you have built suddenly left behind with only a suitcase in your hand and fear in your heart. This is not just a story, it is the reality for millions of refugees around the world. People who have been forced to leave everything behind in search of safety, peace, and a chance at hope. Today, I invite you to walk with me through my journey, to understand their struggles, but more importantly, to see their strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable challenges. I am 18 years old, but my story goes back much farther, shaped by the places I have lived in and the people who have been a part of my life. Let me take you back to where I'm truly from. I was born in Italy in 2005, but when I was only 2 years old, life took a sharp turn. My grandmother, who we loved dearly, fell seriously ill, and my mother, clutching the hands of me and my 2 sisters, brought us to Pakistan, our home country, to be by her side. It was meant to be a grief visit, a time to offer comfort and care, but fate had other plans. In the place that was supposed to be a home, we faced something cruel: religious discrimination. Our home was violated, not just robbed of materialistic things, but of something far greater. In that senseless act of hatred, all the documents that were to return us to Italy to my father waiting there were stolen, leaving us stranded. What should have been a temporary visit turned into a painful story. A separation that weighed heavy on our hearts, and the dreams of returning to where we belonged were ripped from our hands. Living in Pakistan was never truly safe for us. We could sense it in every look, every whimper that passed by. When someone tried to kidnap my sister, the weak sense of safety we were holding on to shattered. And that is when my mother made the hardest decision of her life. She knew she could not protect us there any longer. Sending us off to school each day felt like gambling, and unsure if we would make it back to her arms or no. The fear was suffocating, but the uncertainty of wanting to stay was worse. So with hearts heavy and full of fear, we packed our suitcases, leaving behind everything we knew, and sought asylum in Thailand in 2013. Leaving behind the place you knew is a deep kind of heartbreak. The street, the faces you grew up with, the smell of home that once made you feel safe, it all stays with you like a weight on your heart. And there is a sadness knowing you may never return. Arriving in a new country, you suddenly feel like a stranger to everyone, and even to yourself. I was only 8, too young to understand the full weight of the struggles my parents carried. Their endless worry about money, the exhaustion and fear they felt in every new step. But I do remember being thrown into a classroom with kids who did not look like me, did not speak my language. I felt like an alien. Back home, my world was read from left to right. I was taught to read and write from left to right. But now I was surrounded by people who moved from right to left. The only way to survive was to change, to somehow become one of them. My mother tongue, the language to my heart, was supposed to be a living bridge to my ancient roots. But here, kids laughed at the way I spoke. They made me feel small for using the words that once held so much love. After a lot of challenging work, we finally started getting used to Thailand. I finally started catching up on Thai. It was hard because in school, they taught Thai using English as a bridge. But for me, that bridge was broken because I didn't even speak English. I was finally starting to get used to Thailand when God had other plans. And somehow we were caught by immigration. I did not fully understand the laws, but I knew that the UNHCR cards we were given were still not enough to protect us, and we were still somehow considered illegal in Thailand. They took us to a place that felt like a prison, a cold, unforgiving, and unforgetful place called Immigration Detention Center. After staying in the detention center, a place where each person was limited to just 4 cracked floor tiles, where over 300 people had to share only 2 bathrooms, and where there was no private place to shower, so we had to bathe in front of everyone. We finally made it out alive. Those were the darkest days of my life. I watched my mother, who had always been so joyful and full of hope, become hopeless. I saw her cry and begging God every day to help. After 5 long years of struggles in Thailand, we were finally told that we were going to be sent to United States of America. I remember landing here in Louisville, Kentucky, and feeling the cold breeze of September in 2018. I remember trying to sound out the words on the huge airport sign in front of me. I remember meeting my caseworker from KRM and feeling relieved, knowing that there is someone out there to help us. After going to a lot of big offices for documentation, it was finally the day I was going to start an American school. I was once again thrown into a classroom with unfamiliar faces that spoke unfamiliar languages. But luckily for me, I was put in a school that had everyone that was somehow in the same boat as me. I loved going to Newcomer Academy. I met some of the greatest people there. I made friends that will now be my bridesmaids when I get married, and the teachers that still stay in contact with me till this day. But unfortunately, Newcomer was not the school I could stay in forever, so I got sent to no middle school. I always felt a step behind. I was taught how to use proper nouns and grammars at the age of 13. So no matter what, I always felt behind because my peers learned that in elementary school. There are so many words I do not understand and so many resemblances I cannot place in my head. The struggles of knowing multiple different languages but struggling with them all at the same time is so unique and frustrating. Writing is so beautiful. I wish I could just take a paper and pen and just get lost in my little world of emotions as my hands write everything my brain is thinking of. I wish I could just put my hands on keyboard and let it move, as it has been desperate to let it all out. But unfortunately, sometimes my brain is thinking in Thai, and my hands cannot seem to write it all in English. At the age of 15, I started realizing that the house needed me. So I got a part-time job at Jewish hospital where my mom worked at. I went to school 5 days a week and woke up at 5:30 every weekend to get on a TARC bus to get to work at 7. We did not have a car. My mom did not speak English, so it was hard for her to get her permit. I was still under the age, unable to get my permit, so we would both get on the bus every weekend. I felt bad for her because she was doing this every day, not just weekends. After trying hard in middle school, I got into a great school. It was hard at first with COVID and online school, but at the same time, it went great and things started making sense. But then again, God had other plans. My junior year of high school, on a random Saturday night, we got a call from Pakistan telling us that my father was insanely sick and had been put on a ventilator. That information was too much to process because in my head, all the paperwork was done, and he was going to be here in America watching me walk across the stage on my graduation. My mom took all she had and got us the earliest tickets back to Pakistan. All I was thinking about at that moment was that I need to call in and work because it's Sunday tomorrow and I need to be there at 7 o'clock. We made it to Pakistan on October 31st, 2022. My father passed away November 2nd, 2022. That day, when we buried him, it felt like we buried all of our dreams and hard work too. It felt like all the struggle we had went through was for nothing, because at the end of the day, we didn't even get a chance to live together. The last time I lived with him was when I was 2 in Italy. Everything felt useless. After a lot of long nights and people around me that reminded me that this is not what my dad would have wanted for me. He spent his entire life alone because he wanted what was best for his daughters. So why should I give up now when I'm so close to achieving it all? So after going to 11 different schools in 3 different countries, learning in 4 different languages, I finally graduated from Central High School as a class of 2024. My dad was My dad was not present to see me walk that stage, but I know he was up there smiling, feeling proud. With John and Adrian's help, I was able to go on multiple different college tours. After a lot of thinking, I can gladly say that I'm a first-year student at University of Louisville, and I'm majoring in social work. I am a 2024 KRM Rise Up Wrong Word Scholarship recipient. With all the help and all the opportunities I was given, I'm glad to say that I'm not only fulfilling my dreams of going to college, but my mother's too. I'm a first-generation student. My ultimate goal is to work with kids and to be the help I wish I had. I want to be the John and Adrian in another kid's life. I'm also very proud to say that I'm a mentor and newcomer now. Every hardship I have faced has shaped me into who I am today. Each struggle has taught me how to keep going, even when it felt impossible, and built quite strength in me that I did not know existed. Watching the people I love, my family, my friends, cling to hope and keep pushing forward has been my biggest inspiration. Their courage reminds me that I'm not alone, even in the darkest moments. Because of them, I find the strength to keep fighting for a better life, no matter how hard it gets. They are the reason I never give up. I know that I can always rely on organizations like KRM and people like John and Adrienne when needed. Whenever life slaps me with hardships, I remind myself that this is nothing compared to what I've been through already. If I made it this far, it means I was never meant to give up. I'm incredibly grateful for all that, for all the opportunities, and for all the people. In closing, I just want to say that no matter how tough the journey gets, there's always hope. Each of us has strength within that grows from every challenge we face. Let us continue to support and uplift one another, and remember that together we can overcome anything. Thank you for listening.
If you wonder why we do what we do, if you have any question why we do what we do, just talk to Jazba. Thank you so much, Jazba, for sharing your story, and many thanks, Jazba, to your family for being with us tonight. So John mentioned earlier that we do arts and culture programming at KRM, and here we believe that global meets local when it comes to arts programming, and we do that through the KRM Art Makes Home program. We hope you enjoyed tonight's music provided by our incredibly talented world-class musicians. So a couple of months ago, through one of our events, Christella, who you heard from earlier, who's a local Haitian-American songwriter and singer, debuted her original piece called Bells of Liberty. Christella's music has a way of deeply touching the soul while also engaging the mind to imagine into action a better and more inclusive world for all. The song Bells of Liberty was born out of the contrast of experiences that Christella witnessed across Africa, Europe, and here in the United States. It speaks to the call for freedom and belonging in community in the midst of a divided world. KRM was honored to partner with Christella to capture this piece on film, and that music video of this piece you're about to hear dropped today. So it's online. You can find information on our social media, and you can see the video, so do that tonight. It's on YouTube. So we're excited to have Christella here tonight to perform this timely piece for you. And she's accompanied by Grammy Award nominee and composer-producer, and one of the primary forces behind our arts and culture programming at KRM, Fred Bogert. Please welcome them to the stage.
Tired of all this ignorance, being seen as less than human. They accuse me without evidence. When will justice tune in? So they ring the bells of liberty. I guess it wasn't meant for me. But if we learn to stand in unity, maybe I can hear them ring. Maybe I could hear them ring. And why is there discrimination? It's only keeping us apart. We should be working as a nation. Relationships is where it starts. And so they ring the bells of liberty. I guess it wasn't meant for me. But if we learn to stand in unity, maybe I can hear them ring. Maybe I could hear them ring loud as the roaring seas. Ring such a sweet melody. Ring every voice will sing. Or is it only just a dream? And so they ring the bells of liberty. I guess it wasn't meant for me. But if we learn to stand in unity, maybe I can hear them ring. Maybe I could hear them ring. Maybe I could hear them ring.
All right, that's all, folks. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Christella and Fred. That was phenomenal. And thanks to all of you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the evening. And our bar in the back there will briefly reopen if folks want a little nightcap before they head out the door. And thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure. Good evening.